Somewhere in the Northeast, the intersections of fun, camping, and craft brewers and boats and all these things comes together and creates an amazing story. And today we have a special guest, and it is Riley Mitchell, and his story is one to be told. On the microphones with us here today. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Thank you, Clint.
No problem. Welcome to the RV Small Talk podcast, where we talk about lightweight trailers, truck campers, and the people, places, and adventures that go right along with them. We are your hosts from Princess Craft RV. I'm Clint.
I'm PJ.
And I just got some cool new sunglasses.
It's true.
I'm Lindsay.
You can check out the show notes for this episode at rvsmalltalk.com. Don't forget that you can also join us in the community, the Facebook community that is RV Small Talk Community. So join there, send your photos and whatnot. You can also send your questions and comments to questions at rvsmalltalk.com. I don't want to belabor the point. I want story time. Now, let's dive into this podcast.
Let's do it.
I'm done.
Good job, Clint.
That's a fantastic introduction, by the way.
I tell you what, he has gotten it down, and he is so fast. We just let him run with it, and then when he stops and takes a breath,
then we
all jump in.
It's funny, we used to try to take turns on who did the intro, and now Clint just gave up on us. Now he just runs with it. He's like, nope, I'm leaving y'all behind. Bye.
If it ain't broke, don't mess with it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Well, none of us can talk that fast, so, he wins the prize.
I love that Micro Machines commercial growing up.
I know,
with the
apparently.
fast-talking guy.
Because you're so good at it.
Well, you have weird quirks to aspire to. I don't know if you were one of those kids where you're like, I have to learn some skill to be, I don't know, noticed in this world.
So you decided to be a fast talker?
Practiced all kinds of stupid stuff. I never got really good at it any of, but I had a bag of tricks, if you will.
Okay, and I know you practiced holding your breath in the bathtub.
Anywhere. Even now.
Such a weird.
My addiction was Legos.
Yeah, I had those.
Really?
Too. Yeah.
I have I've amassed a collection of Legos that is mostly RV Legos, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
No, even as a kid? Or more recently?
Well,
are you a grown-up Lego guy?
Financially,
Yes.
more recently.
Yeah. Do you have kids?
No.
Okay, yeah, because say goodbye to your Lego everything.
I have two beautiful future nephews.
Congratulations.
I'm engaged, and they are Lego. Well,
hide
one
your
of them
Legos, hide your
is
wife.
5.
Hide your Legos.
My boy found mine. My daughter found mine. They both they pull those things out, and I couldn't build any of the things I used to anymore because all the parts are missing all over my house. But hey, I have Lego kids. It's worthwhile.
It's so perfect.
And I get to buy more now.
That's the thing. I tend to just go, I'll buy 2 of these.
Yeah.
One for me, one for not me.
Right.
So, funny side note, my kid got a Lego set for Christmas, and he decided that one time when he was in his room, he was going to try to put it together himself, which he's never done before. We always help him. And so there's been Legos on his floor next to his bed for weeks now.
Yeah.
Because he tried to put it together himself. He couldn't do it. And they just lay there. And the other day he stepped on them.
Yeah, he had the full experience.
You don't even. I giggled. I was like, huh.
You haven't truly experienced Legos until you've stepped on a group of Legos.
Just don't let a vacuum enter the scene.
I keep telling him to pick him up, and he won't. And so when he stepped on him, I was like, hee.
I hope you don't have a robot vacuum.
Life lesson learned.
I know. It made me happy.
Oh man. Okay, so PJ, I didn't know that this story was coming about. I didn't know that we were going to record today. I didn't know all kinds of things, but you popped into the office and said, hey, I just talked to Riley out there.
There is this cool guy in our waiting room, and it happens all the time. Well,
set the scene.
I would rather him tell us. I walked up and said, hey, how you doing? I do what I always do and just say, what's, are we taking care of you? Everything going well? Just say hello to the customers. Right. And Riley started talking, and I thought it was such a cool story. I am like, Clint, quick, can you set up the microphones? So the story started with he's here for a service appointment, and you came through Austin on purpose for us to do your service work?
Yes.
What? Not for like a music festival or a race at the track or anything like
So
that?
I've spent the last month in Athens, Texas at the National RV Training Academy getting certified as an RV tech.
Yes.
So you were there with
Terry.
Terry Cooper. Oh,
Yeah.
Sebastian. Sebastian was there.
Sebastian was with you, yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Sebastian.
But that was a fantastic experience, and I was like,
Yes.
well, this is my first time in Texas, so I might as well after this enjoy Texas.
You're gonna,
Yes.
So I spent a couple of
Definitely.
days in Waco, and now I was like, hey, well, if I'm gonna be here, I have an Aldi system in my 2016 Cirrus 800.
Okay.
And when I was at the New Camp factory in Ohio last fall, they were like, yeah, we're bringing out this new fluid that you're supposed to put in your Aldi system. And I was like, well, if I'm going to have it done, I might as well have it done by the pros.
Oh, wait.
And
Pros? Apparently,
No,
he thinks we're pros.
You and I are not. The guys in the service center.
They won't let us touch the Aldi systems.
the guys out back did it in what I thought was exponential time. So
Good. Well, yeah, I said, oh, great. You're getting service work done. And you said, yeah, I'm full time in it. I said, oh, great. You're just traveling full time. And he said, yeah. And I have a campground and I have a craft brewery. And I was like, okay. All right. And
what?
that's when I
Stop
said,
talking.
let me sit down. And how did this happen? So the first thing you said was, well, I used to be a policeman.
Well, yeah. So I spent 3 years in South Carolina in state law enforcement after, growing up, my dad was in law enforcement.
Okay.
Okay. So it seemed natural.
So it was exactly what he told me not to do because I was 19 and I was smarter than him.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So I worked in law enforcement for 3 years.
And what did you do there? Were
hated
you
it.
like
Department of Corrections?
Department of Corrections?
I worked in the prison system and I hated it. It was terrible. I appreciate all the cops out there. You guys are rock stars, but I couldn't tolerate it anymore.
You couldn't do it.
So I moved back home.
Okay.
And that was the first time.
That's got to feel defeating.
Yeah. And then I moved back home. I still didn't appreciate where I grew up, like the beautiful Maine mid-coast, Acadia National Park.
It's
like
hard
2
to
hours
appreciate
away.
your hometown.
I don't know.
It's hard.
It's
I
pretty
agree.
crazy.
I have trouble appreciating my hometown.
Yeah.
I get it.
So I left again.
Yeah, right.
Because what do you do when you still don't like where you grew up? And I went and worked on private yachts as
Okay, you described them as super yachts. So what is a super yacht?
well, the difference between
They wear capes.
Has a big S on the chest, right?
millionaires or billionaires.
That's the
I
difference?
think that's the difference.
Can you name names?
No.
Nah.
Do people ask you that a lot?
Yes.
Yes, because if you're security on a super yacht, I mean, those are people that would at least have friends that we would know.
These are like the
Are these?
the Amazons, the Teslas, the
I hear what you're saying.
Not those people exactly,
But that
people
echelon.
in that realm, like the 1% of the 1% of the 1%.
Okay. So you were on there.
How did you? Okay, first of all, the big question in my head
I
is,
started on regular.
how the hell did you get
I
that
started
job?
on regular boats, so I started
You
on.
started on a dinghy. Watch my hair. Your security. Watch the dinghy.
So growing up, my family, I grew up on an island in a one-room schoolhouse. I was the only kid in my class.
oh my gosh,
Wait.
that's
This is a picturesque scene. How
This is so your story is like
super quaint.
My brother had the largest class, and had like 6 other people in it.
Wow.
My grand.
Wait, were you prom king and queen?
What?
It was K through 5th grade or K through 6th grade.
You had to take a 5th grader to prom.
We didn't
You had to
have,
take a kindergartner to prom?
we didn't have prom.
What's happening?
I was going to say, how do you do that with 5 people?
Yeah.
How do you do that with 5 people? I mean,
So the
really?
whole school had like 36 or 40 people
What
at it,
island is
including
this?
faculty and staff.
Yeah, what
My
island?
grandfather was our school bus driver until he retired.
Aww.
Yeah.
And then he
And
just
you
walked you
just-
to school.
there is
Get in the Oldsmobile. Going to school.
there's absolutely no way to get away with anything in a school that size.
No, there's no way. Like even the rest of the peninsula. Like when I went to our big high school, because I thought it was such a big high school, and I had like 32 other actual kids in my class. I was like, wow, this is bigger than my whole old school combined. And I'm
Oh
like,
my gosh. Well, okay, what
I was
island did you live
so
on?
Southport Central School in Southport Island, Maine,
Southport
right off
Island.
Booth Bay and Booth Bay
Oh,
Harbor, the Booth Bay
wow.
Peninsula, and it was gorgeous. I loved growing up there. My dad was a fisherman and a Maine State Marine Patrol officer.
Do you
My
now
mom was a dental
realize?
hygienist.
I realize. I mean, that makes sense. How you would want to rebel when you're a teenager and get into the big world and the real world and all
Yeah.
that. But now, do you appreciate what a magical life that was?
He's working on it.
He's got to go back and leave again.
No, what it really taught me when I moved back home is that we live literally in like one of the most beautiful countries. Well, Earth is just gorgeous.
Yes.
and we
Earth
need to
is gorgeous.
experience life and appreciate our hometown and build up our local communities, and then obviously when we can travel the hell out of the rest of
I
it.
was saying, you're currently full time and in Texas, so
So
he
okay.
appreciates it, but
So-
he leaves it too.
Well, I diverted from your
I am
story. You
part-time,
started
full-time.
with dinghies. Okay, we were back to the dinghies, and then the one room schoolhouse threw me and living on an
Yeah.
island. But okay,
So you were
you're
security.
security.
on these?
No, so
Oh, no.
I
guess wrong.
Growing up, one of my first jobs that I had that wasn't like working for my parents was I worked on an island called Cabbage Island Clam Bakes, and they did clam bakes, and I did that all through high school and college. And then when I moved back the first time, because I had all the credentials, I was a mate on their boat. And one of the captains on that boat got me on another boat, et cetera, et cetera.
Wait, you returned Australian?
No.
What?
What's a mate?
There.
So
I got you, Clint. Don't worry.
I was lost.
I forgot. Texas has a very short coastline.
Yes. Oh, no.
We have the
we
longest-
don't talk boat.
We have
okay?
the longest coastline in the country.
Yeah.
Maine does.
Yeah.
Alaska only beats us by a little bit because they've
Okay,
got the
okay.
Aleutian Islands. you know?
Relatively
Okay.
speaking. Okay,
Yeah.
fair.
Well, we talk campers. We don't talk boat.
I
So what's a mate?
so a mate on a boat.
Well, you see, when two people love each other.
Mommy and daddy love each other. Amen.
A mate on a boat is like someone who tends lines and washes the floors and stuff like that. And
Like
makes-
a
Oh, he swabbed the poop deck.
I was about to say, do you wash floors on boats?
Yeah, and he dealt with all the rigging and all that.
Why
Yeah,
don't you just
rigging.
turn really hard
Yeah.
and the water will splash up?
Rigging.
And that'll
That's
wash the
exact
floor.
rigging.
I knew
Like-
I knew a word.
I mean, it's not like a sailboat rigging, but it's like you tend the lines. And,
Yeah.
and you make sure
tend
everything's
the
safe.
lines.
you
gotta
do
get-
all the stuff that somebody has to do that nobody wants
You
to
do everything that the captain tells you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To make sure that all the passengers on the boat are safe.
So is that what you did on the super boats?
No.
No.
What'd you do on super boats?
There's a whole story in there.
Then you jumped from that boat to the next boat to the next boat.
It was just a.
So how'd you get into security? That is not
Well, I was
the
already-
same as a poop deck.
I had been in law enforcement, so I had like Coast Guard credentials and stuff like that. So it's
credentials keeps
mostly
coming
like,
up.
yeah, it's mostly like when an owner of this, where when a captain knows another captain
it's
who
a
knows
network.
another it's networking,
Yeah.
which is really what the whole world's about, anyways.
You're just moving rank inside the private armada.
So you went from tending lines to securing,
just
watching a boat,
just
and then
wa-
you'd
just
secure that
watching
one.
stuff.
How long did it take from being a mate
Less than 6 months.
to being on a super yacht?
Less than 6 months. Because of my personality.
Reliable.
Because of my personality.
No, don't be shy. Just don't be shy.
That is so awesome.
I know, isn't it?
Yes.
So
Just
growing
be
up
nice
on
to people.
Yes,
And
growing
talk
up.
to people. Like,
He learned that in a one-room
Say hi.
schoolhouse, by the way.
Yes, and be confident.
Hello? Is anybody there?
I learned
that in the big
I learned
schools.
that being the lone wolf was not the good thing to
It's
do,
true.
but it took a very long
Yeah.
time to do that.
Okay.
You know,
Less than 6 months, though.
6 months. You went from a mate on a clam bake boat
it's
to
a spectacular experience.
security. Oh, I'm ready. Sign me up.
Yeah.
So you'll tell me where to go next time I'm in Maine,
Absolutely.
because I toured Maine once, but we're ready to go back. So then 6 months, you're security on a super yacht for
It was P. Diddy.
billionaires.
No, it wasn't.
Shh. But if we keep talking, if we go visit a craft, if we go visit a craft brewery, maybe he'll talk more.
I mean, that's just the one person I picture on a boat all the time.
Yeah.
What?
No.
I'm thinking a few others, but
Yeah.
Jay-Z maybe.
No, but it was.
Yeah, but
He didn't go Hollywood. He went high tech. So
Okay.
we need to
Well,
think more high tech.
P. Diddy is pretty high tech.
Who knows all the Hollywood people? So are we?
Not
It
doing
isn't high tech. It's
He's
Hollywood.
not going until we visit his craft brewery. in
Hollywood.
Campground. He's not divulging.
Brad Pitt's boat.
Okay, so where does the truck camper part
would kick ass
come into
forever.
this?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. So life just progresses. And when my brother and I were in middle school, my parents bought a property that was old roadside cottages that were built in the 60s. It had a homestead on it that was built in the 20s, the 1820s.
1820s.
Yeah, so 1828 vintage house.
Man.
And we had a specialties wine and beer shop on it, and that had kind of grown. And my dad was brewing beer in our garage, and my parents wanted to start a brewery, and so they did. And with a huge, we're very big on collaborating and a community effort, and because that's what taverns have always been.
Yeah,
Like, the
yeah.
Revolutionary War started in a tavern.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Lots of things started in a tavern.
Things started in taverns.
Yeah, the square with the church that was also the schoolhouse and the tavern. That's what you had.
Well, yeah, kind of.
So-
I mean, yeah. But I mean, this was in Boothbay, not on Southport.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So
Okay.
it's a small peninsula. It's a beautiful little community, and so my parents started the brewery, and then the restaurant kind of evolved into its thing, and in 2013 we became the first brewery on Harvest Host ever.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
So that
First brewery on Harvest
That was
Host.
back when the Greens owned it.
Wow. Wow.
Huh.
So and then
Because you wanted the concept of community, and
Yeah.
so it fit. You said, "Hey, we want in."
And this is on the
Absolutely.
same piece of property.
This is
so you
all
already
on the
had some
same people
camping
property.
Do you
built
still
in.
have the 1820 homestead?
So a lot of that we incorporated into the tavern when we had to build the tavern.
You had to build the tavern.
Well,
Yes.
the
did.
tavern was a beams to brewery, so a lot of people donated
Right.
trees and all that. My dad had a sawmill.
Wow.
He had a sawmill too.
Yeah.
And he worked in law enforcement.
I like
and she
your
was
dad.
a dental hygienist. Keep up.
I like your dad.
Yeah, my dad's amazing. I look up to my parents so much. So in 2014 we started taking out the cottages and putting in RV sites, and then it's kind of just
So, how many RV sites do you have there?
we had 5 and then 9, and now we have 11, and I'm hoping to build 4 more this year, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Now, wait a
Okay.
second. How'd you get off the boat?
Oh, they bought this when he was in junior high, so it was ever
Okay.
evolving.
What my parents and even my brother were doing. My brother went to Chicago and then came back, and everyone leaves their house and then
Sure.
comes back home.
Yeah,
and
that is-
realizes click click click. There's no place like home.
Yeah. I love that.
So yeah, I don't want to steal any thunder from that.
Yeah.
But side note, the lady that played the Wicked Witch of the West, her son and daughter-in-law, she owned an island right off of Southport Island.
Oh.
Ah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's really cool.
Wow.
But yeah, she was.
The world is small.
The world is a small place.
Hey, has
This
anybody ever
story's
called
so
you
sweet,
Smiley
it
Riley?
melts in your mouth.
Yes.
Better than on the sidewalk.
Back in high school.
It's like the
Early
first
high
thing I
school.
thought of. You have not stopped smiling.
Yeah, because
No, it's the best thing ever.
It's one of those things that it hurts to not smile at this point.
why not smile? Life's short.
Why not?
Absolutely.
Why not smile?
All right, that's our new motto this year, guys. Why not smile?
No.
Going to
My
the
motto
fashion
is
shirts.
still the other thing you said.
What was that?
Earth is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, Earth is gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can have two.
You can have yours.
You can't have two Earths.
No, but we can have two mottos.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to something interesting.
Okay.
So
Okay,
yeah,
so how'd you get off the boat? That is a question.
So one of the owners that I worked with sat me down and said, "Hey, you're a great guy. You could do great things. I see a potential in you that I saw
Did you come in
saw
thinking you were in trouble?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
Seriously.
principal's office.
Seriously, it was a little nerve-wracking.
Okay.
And this is like the person who owns.
Yeah, this was
So this is like a notable. This is business.
This is like one
The
of the
billionaire.
richest 200 people in the world.
Okay. Interesting. Wow. And he knows your name and knew you and liked you and counted on you and
Shot him a text message the other day on Facebook.
and you were his
Bestie.
No.
yeah.
No.
No, but you were his
I was tied to him at the waist for.
you were his
for-
security
for-
is what
for
I was
months,
trying to say. Yeah, you were his personal security.
Yeah, he sat me down and was like, "You're a great guy. You have great potential. You know, There was some other family things that were going on, and so so he was like, "Hey, you know, you have the determination and the mindset, and you are a good person. You know, here." And he ripped up what was going to be my contract
For 3 years.
and wrote me a check and said, go make a life. And so I actually ended up staying in Rhode Island for a couple of years, and then I moved back home.
Huh.
So he said, work for me for 3 years, but wait, never mind. I'll just pay you for 3 years and see ya. Go make a life.
Kind of.
Kind
Yeah.
of? What part's not true?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
That's what he did.
He not for the full amount, but he wrote me a decent check and then
very large check.
A very large check and said, go make a life.
So
And you walked
he
away?
wanted something better for you, even though
he wanted something
Yeah.
better for me because he saw the potential.
Okay.
And
Wow. How did that make? I mean, what do you feel
that made
when
me-
someone says that to you?
great. I mean, I was fortunate enough where I spent 3 years of high school in a private high school. One of the ladies from my church paid for me to go there, and it, in a sense, it saved my life. I was born with heart disease, and so I've had open heart surgery 3 times,
Oh my goodness.
and 2 other heart surgeries. Actually, my last open heart surgery was just over a year ago. So I've through all the experiences I've had in life, I now feel like I am comfortable in me, because I was always worried about what other people thought because I couldn't play sports. I was always, afraid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And through many things it taught me, on the other side of, this is Will Smith, on the other side of fear, there's just joy. So that's kind of why I do everything I do now.
Okay.
So
Is that, do you think, wow, I am so glad we're talking to you. That is amazing. Most people don't see fear in all the different ways that you've seen it. You've seen it with, the prison system. You've seen it with your personal health. You've seen it with just trying to grow up and get comfortable in your skin. You've been around criminals. You've been around the
us.
ultra wealthy. You have survived Princess Craft so far. It's only been a few hours. Jury's out. But, there's to experience all of that and the fear of open heart surgery 3 times. That's just incredible. That is more input into who you are that most people get in 70 years of living.
Yeah. And I really have to thank my support system. I mean, my parents, my brother, my grandparents, friends, family, now my fiance,
Your
and
town,
her family,
your friends,
our church,
our
friends, our family,
your island,
our community, the Booth Bay community. Like, I had a prayer shawl made for me from ladies from church. I've had hundreds of people, send me cards and kind of stuff like that. But that, and my boss that I had worked for when I had heart surgery was super supportive, and so were all the guys that I worked with.
Well, we should all take in the possibilities of, all the things that you've seen and done, and realize that every day we should be just as grateful as you are.
Every day is a blessing.
Every day is a blessing.
Because it can be taken away in an instant.
Amazing.
So,
okay.
You are now off the boat, back on the island. How do you get from there to having this really cool rig that's just outside this trailer that we're recording in, and what you're doing with it and how you're seeing the world and all that?
Yeah. So, right before I had heart surgery, a year and a half ago, my fiance and I were looking at travel trailers, but a truck camper had always been like my thing, because I told myself I want to see Alaska before I have kids, because if I don't, I might not get the opportunity.
Wait, you came down south to Texas. That's the wrong direction.
Wrong way.
I understand that. Oops. I understand that. However,
GPS.
I use RV Life, just so everyone knows.
You were on
Go
boats
RV
and all
Life?
that. You should be able to get there nautically. Just use the stars.
Yeah. I'll bring out my sextant.
Yeah, there you go.
I've never used a sextant.
Okay, just putting it out there. You never used one, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the campground was needing a truck to do maintenance, and I had like basically convinced my parents that we needed to be able to advertise and enjoy life, and life's short. I mean, my mom had cancer. She beat cancer. She's in lifelong remission. So we all have this like life is short complex, and that we need to do what's best for our community and what's best for ourselves. Yeah, if you're alive, you might as well actually try to enjoy every second of it. And we try to do that through our businesses, through our travels and all that kind of stuff, and through all the people we talk to. And so we got the rig, we got it wrapped.
That wrap is awesome.
Yes, you guys need to check the show notes, because this is one cool looking rig.
Yeah, so that was done by Adventure Advertising in Rockland, who's done some stuff for us before, and we plan on having them do more stuff in the future.
Sure.
But yeah, it's gorgeous. It came out their design team was spectacular.
It's called the Hoppy Camper.
Yeah. So
Get it?
So I am the Hoppy Camper. I write our monthly newsletter that goes out to all of our guests that have stayed with us, and that goes on our Facebook page as well. Booth Bay Craft Brewery and RV.
Booth Bay Craft Brewery and RV. Yeah. That is, man, right up my alley.
Yeah.
So
why didn't I think of that?
Well, I'm thinking as a destination, we got to get up there.
We try to brand ourselves as a Maine coastal destination experience.
Yeah.
And I am our destination experience coordinator.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I love that.
So that is what I've called my title, I guess. Okay. You can do that when you work for yourself. It's great.
You can just make it up.
That's life anyways. We all just make it up as we go along.
I try to do that
Isn't
too.
that true?
Oh, that's some work I don't want to do. I'm changing my title real quick.
But so we've taken it on some trips. I I made some awesome business cards with the help of my brother. He does all of our website design and all that kind of stuff, and he's amazing at it. He runs the day-to-day operations in the brewery and the tavern. We do wood-fired pizzas in the summertime. We do Friday night brisket night. We do a brisket platter. And that's actually kind of the reason why I decided to stay in Texas longer, is because my parents came through here in a trip that they took. And they have a Class C, and they tow a Jeep behind it. And they were like, you have to stop at Franklin's Barbecue. So that's like...
Be prepared to wait in line.
That is literally what's planned for my entire day tomorrow. Is get barbecue at Franklin's.
Okay.
So... because I've been told that's what I have to do. So I will be doing it.
But you need to find some place for dinner, too.
Yeah.
Like maybe Green Hall?
Oh,
A little music on the way back down to Canyon Lake?
man, that brings back the memories.
And there's so much good barbecue around Central Texas.
Yeah.
Like old
Real close to Lockhart, which has
barbecue places.
You could barbecue hop for days in Lockhart.
Yeah, not days, but maybe days.
Does Texas have a barbecue passport?
What?
I bet they do. I bet there is.
I don't know.
I bet
I've
they
never
do.
heard of that.
Like where you go to every barbecue joint in this county,
you
and you get a stamp.
If they don't, they should.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They totally should. We need to talk to
How long are you
Texas
here?
Parks
Because if
and
we don't, you
Wildlife.
can start it up for us.
We can start a barbecue passport.
Yeah.
That
I'm
would
only
be great.
here for the next 5 days.
At least in Franklin's.
Well, you can have a few
in this region.
options, but that would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I guess that just leads to our family's entrepreneurial tendencies.
Or we could send him to the original Salt Lick.
Yeah.
I've already been told to go there, so that is on the list.
And I will say the original Salt Lick, it's a beautiful setting. It's fantastic barbecue, and it's a little bit different than your standard fare Texas barbecue. I would say it's actually a little bit more closer to, what did you say, like Missouri style?
I don't know.
At least the sauces. The sauce seems like it is. But that's
I am a Salt Lick fan.
Surprisingly, I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because last fall, my fiance and I went to St. Louis.
Yeah.
And I don't know if St. Louis barbecue isn't
different.
Missouri barbecue.
Yeah.
But it was good.
It's something about that area. They do something different, especially with the sauce. I think it's a little bit more mustard based.
Yeah.
But it's so good. And that's where my wife and I had our rehearsal dinner before our wedding.
Lots of people do.
Yeah.
It is such a cool place.
So, lots of memories.
That's where I did too.
Down there? Down yonder?
Or was it
At Dripping Springs?
Your rehearsal dinner was at Princess
here.
Craft.
No, it was Aaron's. I was like, I knew I went there.
And who does that either? But
I
we
don't
do.
know. Aaron, yeah.
Rehearsal dinner in an RV. That's
No, in a
in the
bowling alley
dealership.
that was turning into an RV dealership.
It was in the transition phase of this being.
We had just bought it.
We had just bought it, and
Might as
we
well bowl, huh?
pulled out all the tables from the bar and grill, and my sisters were amazing, put red and white tablecloths on them. It was very stylish.
that's awesome.
Anyway,
It was the best it's ever looked, I promise you.
barbecue.
Barbecue. So you're
Barbecue.
touring the barbecue in Texas.
Yes.
For research?
For
No.
fun.
For my own enjoyment.
Oh, good,
For
good,
living.
For
So
living.
So you said that you full-time in the winter, but not in the summer.
This will be like the first time I've really done it, but I plan on doing at least a couple months every winter, at least the worst of Maine winters.
Is that because Maine kind of
okay.
shuts down for a little bit? It slows down?
Yeah.
So you might as
drastically. Like, we have. Our area is fortunate enough where we have the Coastal Maine Botanical Gardens, which in the summertime is gorgeous. I have no idea how many plant species they have, but it's amazing.
well.
And
Ballpark, 5, 6?
thousands maybe. I don't know, but in the winter they do a Gardens Aglow and they light up the whole thing, and that goes through New Year's. And that is kind of brought a revitalization to the winter time in our area.
Yeah, something to do.
Where normally, like Columbus Day weekend, it's like, oh, roll the red carpets up. We'll see the tourists in May.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now it's extended the season, and that's spectacular. I mean, with the brewery, we're already making winter-based beers and sending them up to the mountains for skiing, snowboarding, snowmobiling, that kind of thing. But having to be able to keep the restaurant open until the first of the year, and even this year, the restaurant is still open now, and we do brunch on Sundays, Wednesday through Saturday, 3 3 to 8, and then Sunday 11 to 3 for brunch, I believe.
Well, I can tell you when I toured Maine, the only thing that I don't like about Maine is that there is this one terrible road to go up and down the coast and
Route
tour,
1.
and it is awful, and it is traffic jammed, and it's windy, but
It is also almost 120
It's Route 1.
years old.
yeah. I mean,
It's
I
number
get
one.
it. I get
Goes
it.
from
Number
Fort
one.
Kent at the top of Maine to the big ball in Key West.
Yes,
Oh,
but
yeah,
you
yeah.
have to understand, I'm used to highways in Texas with 85 mile an hour
This is
speed
the
limits.
first time I've experienced more than 3 lanes on an interstate ever, unless it's an exit.
dear.
And I've been told that like I-10 to Houston is like 16 lanes or something like that. So I'm just
So you probably could understand 16 lanes floating through the ocean, just not on the highway, right? So two different things.
Can
but
I just say,
yes.
just keep imagining Houston. Don't do that to yourself.
yes.
Don't go see it
just
in person.
Don't. Just don't.
It's okay to imagine it, but it is not
I already
fun to drive it.
have reservations.
Do you, boo?
Well, Houston has some really amazing cultural things
So
in it.
They have
but
one of
it's,
the largest museum districts anywhere.
it is really got some great features.
Now we have
However,
to sell it back to them.
yeah, I did not grow up on an island. I grew up in Houston.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's a traffic jam that people live in.
So I'm going to the Lone Star Flight Museum there, Harvest Host location, and spending the night
Okay,
there.
I would
that
go
might
with
be
you to
fun.
the flight museum.
Yeah, okay, so that sounds cool.
I love what Elon's doing with SpaceX and all that stuff, and definitely.
Have you seen the new Tesla plant in South Austin?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you totally should drive by.
I will. The final frontier is definitely space. Like I was a Star Wars kid when I was
Man,
growing up.
Legos,
Trekkie.
Star Wars.
It's a
I gotta
Trekkie.
go experience.
Now, are you original,
Houston
original
International-
or Next Generation or Deep Space Nine?
Well, I was whatever my
What?
parent, like my
Whatever
dad,
was
my
on?
aunt, like
Okay.
kind of culminated that
Okay,
for
all
us.
right. All right.
But you know,
I'm just
He
which
obviously has
iteration
no
of Star Trek?
preference.
Yeah, that's fine. Cool.
So
Okay.
all of them, I guess.
USS Enterprise, I'm in.
Okay, very good. There's been a few.
I'm in. Yeah.
There's been a few, yes.
Cool.
Yes. Very cool.
But then I'm staying on Galveston Island for a couple of days.
Do it.
Oh, you gotta love it.
Oh, you're gonna love walking
so
up and
many
down the
things.
Strand.
Because I'm hoping that, like, well, originally my thought was it's warm. It's not.
It might be. It can be.
But then last year they shut down for like what, a week, and it was just cold and no propane.
Snowpocalypse.
No,
That is an aberration. In my 41 years, I haven't seen that.
hopefully that
You've had-
doesn't
There's
happen.
supposed to be a cold front on Saturday.
Yeah, it's coming. Cold's coming back, but
Yeah,
not
he's gonna
Maine
be out there in
cold.
shorts and
It's going to
maybe
be
a
our
t-shirt.
kind of cold.
Well, if you're saying like 40, yeah, I might be in a t-shirt. If you're saying like 12, I'll probably turn the heat up a little.
If it's 12, the world stops.
Yeah.
You ain't going nowhere
I
around
noticed
here.
that.
Yeah, everything stops
Well,
if it's
because we don't
12.
do snow really. We just do ice.
We don't even have enough salt and sand to put on the roads.
Yeah.
That was the problem that happened to us last year with all that snow. Snow
Yeah.
for a week. We don't have the equipment or
Yeah.
the salt and sand to fix it.
There's
so
no infrastructure for dealing with
we're
that.
dead in the water.
Well,
yeah.
then whoever is doing all the construction in Waco right now needs to buck up and take some of those front end loaders and help load snow. But
Government workers, I hear.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't. We're just not good at it. Okay,
Yeah.
not enough practice. But yeah, there are great things. Galveston is fabulous, and
It is.
Moody Gardens and
Yeah.
the
I'm
Strand.
hoping to
and
check out the old
so
pier.
much to do.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
And,
yes.
Okay, you're going to head down through Houston. Don't stay long, but through Houston and go to Galveston. Yeah, trip approved. Do
On
that.
our community page for RV Small Talk, will you post a few things of where you are and what you like?
Yeah, sure.
That would be very cool to kind of just follow and see where you are.
Yeah, I'm meeting up with some friends of ours who have a small YouTube channel. They're in Fredericksburg.
Okay.
And I'm going to check out the War in the Pacific Museum over there.
Yep.
Love that.
Nimitz.
And do
Nimitz?
Nimitz.
Yes.
It is Nimitz. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
and do the Enchanted Rock hike.
Do it.
I've been told that is a must.
It's just this weird
Yes.
feature
It's a big
just in
ol'
the
rock.
middle. It's I think it's might be the largest monolith in the northern U.S. or
It
whatever.
is. It is very cool. It is kind of an iconic place here, but be sure you call ahead to get reservations because you can't just walk in and do it.
Okay, that's good to
Yes.
know. I
You
did not
can't.
know that you needed reservations to take a hike.
Or
And
there's definitely a shut off on how many they're letting in. I'm not sure if it's still reservation or if it's just first come, first serve.
And sometimes it's I've seen it both ways
Just go
kind of
early.
over the time, but by early, I mean early.
Yeah.
So check whatever they're posting because you may need to be in line at 5 a.m. to be
That's
able
fine.
to get let in at 8.
Yeah.
So I just don't know how it goes. A lot of people
Do
are
not
disappointed.
wait in line for 3 hours to walk up
No,
a
just
rock.
get back in his camper and relax.
Yeah.
Don't do
Yeah,
that.
just get in line and take a
That's
nap.
why we have truck campers.
Yes.
So that we can park in a regular parking spot.
you're good.
And say, here's my number, call me when you're ready, and go take a nap. Or
It's
go
like
There
a
you go.
turtle. You go back into your
just
shell.
go back in your shell.
A little turtle. Yeah, all
Good.
those are great things. All those are great things here. And wait, where are we? What month is February now? No bats. I was thinking you
No
need to
bats?
catch the bats, but there's no bats.
Okay.
So,
I mean, there's still bats. They exist, but
Yeah.
yeah, bats still exist. They are just not one of the more amazing things in this area.
They just either go underground or
No, they migrate.
Go south.
They migrate to Mexico.
They go to Mexico? Oh,
Yep.
cool.
they're called Mexican free-tail bats, so
Yeah.
they go back to Mexico.
They only visit us when it's too hot down there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we have to wait for it to like warm up a bit or actually heat up in Mexico. And then they're like, oh, we're out of here.
Yeah.
So it's really fun.
So what warm here for you is what, like 120 degrees? Or is that too hot?
That's hot.
Okay.
You know,
We have approached that, and we'll get in the 110s or whatever for a fair stretch most summers.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that's
to
like
And it's
July,
hot.
15 days.
July, August?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
July, August is like our summer.
Uh-huh.
Like the 2 weeks that we had in
The 2
summer
weeks.
for summer last year.
Yes. The thing
We
that
actually had a gorgeous summer last year,
Yeah.
and fall happened late, but it was
You're coming from a land that has 4 seasons.
yes,
Yes. And
We have
flowers.
4
In the
solid
summer, they
seasons.
have the spring and summer, you have beautiful flowers.
Yeah.
We have some flowers in the spring and then,
They're gone. You get
It's
maybe
too
2
hot.
weeks, a week and a half,
It's
and
too
it's like
hot.
peak. Yeah.
wildflowers. So anyway, very
have
different.
We have a gorgeous. It's a protected horse chestnut tree that's in our beer garden. That's got to be 100+ years old.
Oh, wow.
But when it flowers, I think it flowers twice a year.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful, bright white.
Nice.
And then they fall, and then
Into your
in the
beer,
fall,
and you don't care.
In the fall, you get horse chestnuts, which fall, and it's like
I don't even know what horse
they just
chestnuts are.
landed like
Oh, they sound like
out.
horses.
It sounds either like horses clotting or
Yeah.
or whatever that's called.
How
or
fun.
Yeah.
Okay, question. I want to know, what is the brewery? How far in advance do you have to make reservations to get one of your handful of spots? And what's the best beer? Go.
So my favorite beer
Start with the beer.
Yeah, you got to start with the beer. Well, that's the thing. It depends on which brother you ask.
Well, I'm asking you.
So our campground, which I run our campground and our Harvest Host reservations, we accept request to stays through Harvest Host up to 180 days in advance.
So you have to join Harvest Host.
You have to join Harvest Host
Okay.
to Harvest Host and Boondock. But we use CampSpot as our booking agent for our 11 campsites.
Okay.
And the campground is a separate business from the brewery.
Okay.
So the brewery is the Harvest Host member. The campground's its own thing, if that makes sense.
But they're all together.
But they're all on the same property.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Harvest Host
All the
is
options.
Boondock only.
Yeah, Harvest Host is Boondock only.
Okay.
And we allow people to do that for one night because we want to continue to be Harvest Host members, and we love what Joel and his wife Mary Ashley are doing with the Harvest Host system and integrating Boondockers Welcome, and they are a fantastic support team, and they bring, like last year I think we had 1,700 Harvest Hosts come to us, not including the campground. So that
1,700 in a year. Trying to do the math.
that brings an insane amount of people to our community,
Right.
and that is what we are about.
Right.
Like through helping our community, we'll automatically help ourselves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And the revitalization is
So that's like 200 or 300 people a month.
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That is a huge draw.
I am shrinking that a little bit. We're only going to allow 2 a night because we're building more RV sites.
Okay.
But for the campground, I opened the bookings for the campground on February 1st of this
year.
of this
yes.
month.
A few weeks ago.
10 days ago.
Uh-huh.
And you can book for the entire you can book anytime during the season, and our season runs from this year it's April 14th or 15th to December 1st.
Okay. And how booked are you now in the first 10 days? Are you half full?
No.
So it doesn't book up right away.
We have weekends that went right off the bat.
Okay.
And not necessarily holiday weekends, just like weekends that people that have stayed with us for years,
that's their thing. That's their weekend. It's on their calendar.
And they have like they have families that all come together, and they're like, we're going to take these 6 sites for this weekend. Yeah. So a lot of group bookings.
Okay.
Because
that's what you want.
That's what we want. We love that. We're a small family run business, and we love the family atmosphere.
Family reunion at a brewery.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, does it get any better than that?
Yeah,
I think that just sounds in Maine.
Sounds nice.
We're a mile and a half from downtown Boothbay Harbor and the ocean. In a mile and a half on an electric bike, you can step your foot in the Atlantic Ocean.
That sounds
Gulf
awesome.
of Maine. It's spectacular.
Okay, so it is. Which one is? That threw me off. Okay, so how do you book the sites? The campground.
The best way to book the campground is you can either go on boothbaycraftbrewery.com/stay with us, or you can go on CampSpot's app and type in Boothbay, and we'll pop up.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So,
or you can be Harvest Host and Boondock.
Or you can be a Harvest Host and you can Boondock.
Back to, what's your favorite beer?
So my favorite beer is a beer that we make once a year. It's made it's made in collaboration. We do a lot of collaborations with our beers. It's made in collaboration with a local sugar house, and it's a maple syrup beer. It's called Sweetwoods.
Mm-hmm.
Sweetwoods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds amazing, really.
So do you have to get it from you, or can I buy it locally? Like if I'm somewhere else, can I buy it? Or do you have to go to Boothbay Craft Brewery?
We distribute statewide.
Okay.
And so you can get our beers at a lot of restaurants in Maine, as well as any liquor beer stores.
So I would look for the Boothbay what is it?
Boothbay Craft Brewery Sweetwoods.
Sweetwoods.
That's my favorite.
Okay.
But we only do 2 batches a year.
Oh wow.
So our most popular beer is called Thirsty Botanist, and I'll give you guys a couple of stickers.
Thirsty Botanist. Okay.
It's a juicy IPA, and it's grapefruit.
Oh.
It's fantastic.
I will love it then.
Yeah.
I'm in. I love the citrusy beers.
Nice. Yeah.
All right. Good to know.
On your way down to Houston area, you should stop by Shiner.
Shiner?
Yeah. And check out and do the Spotzel Brewery tour.
Spotzel Brewery tour.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll add it to the
list.
There's so much stuff to do.
Yeah.
I know. That's okay. He's living.
Hey. There's always next time I come to Texas.
He doesn't know when he's going to drive that long to get down here. There's a lot of the U.S. to see.
Yeah, and here in Houston isn't a super fun drive, so you might as well stop and do something fun.
Yeah, stop by the Shiner Brewery. Spotzel.
Wow. I've never been. I've always wanted to go.
Spotzel, Spotzel.
I don't know.
It's super German.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have been many, many years ago. We should all go back. Hey, field trip to Shiner.
I'm down.
Okay.
All
right. We need to record a podcast from the Shiner Craft Brewery.
Before or after the tour?
After.
No, totally after.
What you guys need to do is come to Maine and record a podcast.
Yes.
In our brewery.
Yeah, but Maine is...
Totally.
I mean, yes, we do.
1,600 miles away. Roughly.
Roughly. Give or take.
Give or take 100 or so miles.
I'm ready. Family reunion at Boothbay Craft Brewery. I am game. How fun.
Wait, he didn't even figure out what he has on the back of his truck yet. Quickly, what's on the back of your truck?
So,
Oh, yeah.
So,
Okay. I guess we talk about the camper part.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I have a 2016 Cirrus 800, number 34.
800, no
Number
less.
Number
34.
34.
This is one of the original.
Yeah, an
am the
800
second-
model.
I'm the second owner. We are the second owner.
And you bought it because it was orange and black.
And I bought it because it was orange and black, and because the previous owners had it in phenomenal shape. They only used it on the weekends, and they had only taken 1 or 2 long trips in it. And so, like,
Wow.
there was still plastic on things.
I'm telling you.
And it was 3 years old.
Yeah.
I know that most
Yeah.
listeners don't go to the show notes to see the details, but even if you don't care about truck campers, this is such a cool looking rig.
Super cute.
Just ought to check it out. It is awesome.
So that it's paired to a 2015 Chevy Silverado 3500 1-ton single rear wheel, standard 6.5 foot bed with a gas engine. And I went gas because that year the diesels actually had a less cargo capacity because the only thing that they did was add the engine, so your couple hundred extra pounds that a diesel is actually just took away from so that year that was the highest capacity truck in that trim level too. I don't exactly know what trim level it is, but it's a fantastic combination. I have added airbags
Yeah, why not?
for a ride,
Sure.
because you put a truck camper on anything unless it's got
flaps in the
airbags,
back, lifts weight off the steering.
It's gonna lift weight off your steering. It's gonna ride a little bit like a brick.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Like a floaty brick.
Yeah, but so with airbags, it's more like it's smooth.
It feels more normal.
And and at night you're not like high beaming people, even though
Precisely.
you don't have your high beams on.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
I never
Right.
thought about that.
Yep.
How many miles have you put on it since you got it?
Honestly, I have no idea.
When did you get it?
December 20.
So you've had it 3 months? 2 months?
2020, just two
Oh.
2 years.
2 years
2 or
and
3
2
years.
months.
Yeah, 2 years.
Okay.
And it's gone to New River Gorge in West Virginia. It's gone to Kentucky. It's gone to the North Maine woods. It's gone to South Carolina. I proposed to my girlfriend, now fiance, in the Outer Banks with it,
Aw.
and up the New England coast,
Yes.
Assateague.
So is Texas the furthest away you've been?
This is the furthest that it's been. Yes.
Good choice, my friend.
So
Good choice.
Tennessee, Arkansas, St. Louis. That was the trip my fiance and I went on in the fall. And that was the longest trip we had ever taken together. I think that was 16 or 17 nights. But so far, I believe I'm on night maybe 41 by myself.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal. So
Fun.
Cool.
it's
Well-
a great rig, and the quality is pretty
Yes.
pretty up
We
there
do
too.
love our new camp products around
Yeah,
here.
it's true.
I mean, yeah.
Good people, good stuff.
I spent the last month in RV technician school, and
And you can see
Now
it.
you know how great the new camp is.
and it's like I go into other people's rigs that are friends of mine now, and I'm like, oh, you just opened it and it fell off. I don't have to worry about that.
A
Not
good time
with
for
new
a
camp.
quick plug for NRVTA. You can look it up. I think it's nrvta.com.
I believe so.
It's Terry and Lady Cooper's place. It is amazing training. And so if you're interested, look it up. It's up in Athens, Texas. They have a campground. You can just stay in your rig and pick the level of training that you want and learn about RVs. You
Right.
can even be a certified RV technician
Or inspector.
or an
Inspector.
inspector.
Yep.
They certify inspectors.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, check it out. NRVTA.
It's phenomenal. I had an amazing experience, and I can't wait to continue to learn and And
Great.
I plan on taking my fiance down there next year, or maybe in a couple of years, and finishing up the solar and generator class that I didn't take.
Wonderful.
And then have her do fundamentals so that she can learn how to use a multimeter.
There you go. Just some basics.
And do stuff so that I can say, hey, honey, what's the amps on this? Just curious.
Yeah. Helpful stuff to know.
Helpful stuff to know.
It's good for everybody to know
Because
kind of how it works.
She is a strong, independent woman, and
Well, she might want to go camping without you. Just be prepared.
She may want to take,
And why not? Absolutely.
the mother and the mother-in-law and sister-in-law, and just go
Yes.
spend a weekend, have fun.
Yes. And
Girls
their
trip.
basic course is just a week long.
It's just a week.
And you really do kind of learn how it works and how to find your way around to just do basic diagnosis.
Extreme levels of confidence building there.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it is great. Yeah, I think every RVer should be required to take that first week class from the Coopers there at NRVTA. So very cool.
The confidence that I got from them was stunning, and the only reason why I brought my rig here is because the Aldi system, and I wanted the pros here to do the initial switch over of the new glycol that New Camp suggests.
Yeah.
And with it being an older rig, and I have never worked on the Aldi system.
Sure.
Well,
there's nothing else in there
that'll
that
give
you're
you a
scared
jump off. And
there is not a I've completely I did a lithium upgrade and inverter upgrade entirely on my own, super confident about that kind of stuff. And I have a DC to DC charger, so my truck is my generator. And I could, other than getting fresh water and getting rid of wastewater, I have unlimited energy.
Yeah.
As long as I have gas.
Yeah.
right.
But
Well, always easy to get that.
it's easy to get gas,
Cool.
So,
Yes.
You guys are fantastic. This is
This
awesome.
is fun.
Oh,
This is fun.
it's really fun.
We got to travel.
for us.
Y'all, we got to go to cool places like this.
I know.
Yes.
We got to get out of Texas, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I have never
Takes a couple
had.
days to get out of Texas.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
Yeah.
true.
We know this.
We do have a section of Maine that I think they just increased the speed limit from either 70 to 75 or 70 to 80.
Oh.
And it's like it's I-95
And you just zip across the state.
North
it's
of-
like 30 minutes.
north of Lincoln. So it's already like 4 hours into Maine.
Okay.
But headed north towards Canada, and it's like
So you can yeet yourself right into Canada. Go faster. We might get a sweet jump.
Get away. Run away.
so you can get up into the county.
Oh, they call it the county.
where potatoes and broccoli and all that come from.
I do not know the land or lingo from up there.
Yeah.
All I know is that there is nothing better than craft beer and a lobster roll. So
We do a lobster pizza.
I'm in.
Bam.
Prove it.
But can
So
she
yeah,
take
get
a
there.
slice of pizza and roll it up?
I probably could.
Something
Yes.
tells me you can't find this in Totino's.
No, probably not.
Red Baron?
So,
No? Okay.
No. But Boothbay,
Boothbay.
Craft Brewery,
Let's do this, y'all.
And campground.
and campground, and RV,
And RV, sorry.
And tavern.
and tavern.
Yeah.
You know, all the things.
Boothbay, Craft Brewery,
Everything you
tavern,
ever
and RV.
need.
And while you're there, get your RV inspected and maybe worked on. Riley's there.
That's right. Well, if you ever need a 17th career, let me know.
Absolutely.
We'll figure something out.
Yes, ma'am.
Very cool. Riley, it's been a pleasure. Like a whole lot of fun hearing your story.
Thanks, Clint. Yeah.
So let's connect. Let's get this podcast out there so people are aware of what you and your family have done, what your community is up to, so that people can make plans to visit. So we'll do that on this iteration, and then let's find a way to get back together again and catch up down the road.
I'll be here for 5 days.
I don't. It's going to take me that
And
long
then
to
I'm
try
out.
to edit this. So all right.
Well, maybe we can meet in the middle.
Okay,
I think the middle
There's
is
barbecue
still
in the middle.
Texas, though, somewhere,
There's
right?
barbecue in the middle.
Doesn't matter. There's barbecue in the
But
middle.
is there a craft brewery there?
There's always
and
a craft beer.
campground.
Yeah, actually, in the middle between here and there, there's probably some backwoods still.
We might have moonshine.
There's actually a fantastic Harvest Host that's in Tennessee that I love. It's a bakery.
Well, give him a plug. Who is it?
He loves it.
Thanks for.
It's in the show notes.
Yeah, it's in the show notes.
In Tennessee. All right. Thanks so much. We'll
you.
see you next time.
Everybody, thank you again for taking advantage of this opportunity to listen to the RV Small Talk podcast. We are always grateful to our guests, especially Riley this go around. And you can check out our show notes. We're going to put all kinds of links and photos in there for you that can be found at rvsmalltalk.com. Don't forget the community page where Riley's going to post a few pictures from his travels. Out on Facebook, it is RV Small Talk Community. Don't forget to go over to your favorite podcast app, and it really helps the most if it's Apple Podcasts. Go there, like, subscribe, follow this podcast, and leave us a review. Good or bad, we will accept it, and it will help us to get more exposure and reach more people. So thank you so much in advance. Again, I'm Clint.
I'm PJ.
I'm Lindsay.
And I'm the Hoppy Camper.
And thanks for joining us for this episode of the RV Small Talk podcast.
Bye.